Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wyld. Today we are talking about Republican senators probe Uber Eats, Doordash, and Grubhub after post report on migrant workers. So recently I got an email from one of my subscribers, Miss LG1961. Thank you so much for emailing me about this and making this video possible. To be honest with you though, I am very hesitant to talk about this kind of topic. I border on a few different political topics on this channel here and there, but this one, literally from the title alone, is about Republican senators. And I know that's going to stir up a lot of heat and all of that, especially since we're also talking about migrant workers. I do think this is a topic worth discussing. So with that said, I want to go over everything being said in this article, how it actually is for Doordash, UberEats, and Grubhub drivers and customers, whether you're legally or illegally here and everything in between. But before we get started, I do want to be clear, this is not a political channel of any kind. While this is a very politically charged topic, I am reading this from a neutral standpoint. Not left, not right, neutral. My goal here is to bring the facts to gig workers, not to impose my political views. So with that said, let's get started. First off, with the email that you sent to me, you gave me a link from Blabber Buzz, and what I found with that is that the video that was supposed to be there apparently is just no longer there. I don't know why. Maybe it's just a glitch or something, but again, it's a politically charged topic, so I wouldn't be surprised if that had something to do with it. I had to find a article from the New York Post, so we will be using that for this video. 3 Republican U.S. senators have a special order for Uber Eats, DoorDash, and Grubhub. Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee, Mark Braun of Indiana, and Ted Budd of North Carolina blasted out letters to each of the food ordering platforms Thursday, demanding to know what steps they are taking to prevent illegal immigration from unlawfully working for them. Short answer, they're probably taking advantage of the cheap labor. Look, I'm not saying it's right for them to take advantage of migrant workers. I'm not even saying it's right for them to be here. But we all know what they're doing, right? Like, this isn't a surprise to anybody. You want to know why migrant workers are really good for people who are running some sort of landscaping company or something like that? No one really wants to do landscaping for the price that the landscaping company is willing to pay them, but the migrant workers will take it, even though they'll be sweating their balls off. And they'll probably remain off the books for that time too. This past September, the Post reported that the newly arrived migrants to New York are currently paying current delivery workers to piggyback on their accounts and immediately snag gigs using the company's respective apps. Despite a lack of vetting and federal law requiring them to wait 180 days for a work permit. This is also coming from the same city that not only has signed a $77 million contract with hotels to house said migrant families, but also in an area where Doordash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub are having the most struggles because of the way the system now works, because of the forced hourly pay, because DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub have removed the upfront tipping option, and most gig workers in NYC are now migrating to Jersey City, or in this case, renting out their accounts, which, by the way, is not okay either. Do you know how many people are complaining about seeing Emily as a driver and then freaking 6'5" Bob is coming to the door? Why is that? Because of things like this.
But Joe, it could also be a boyfriend that got deactivated and they're using their accounts.
I know. But the latter seems to be the topic at hand, and both options are 100% a possibility. Either way, it seems to be a growing problem, especially for those who are looking to become gig workers in DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub, and they can't because the wait list is insane. We write to express our concern regarding reporting from the New York Post that food delivery services are being hijacked by illegal immigrants intent on gaming the system. The senators wrote to the heads of the 3 companies on Wednesday. Working illegally, especially in these circumstances, creates the potential of exploitation, abuse, and even modern-day slavery slavery. Okay, but let's be clear though, because I think this is important to talk about too. Yes, DoorDash, UberEats, and Grubhub are taking advantage of illegal immigrants by having them take less than profitable orders, let's be honest. But they're taking advantage too. Zach Drives Fast made an excellent post on how some migrant workers or how some people are working in teams on Walmart Spark to where they're basically accepting almost every order. They'll have some people do the shopping, some people do the driving, pool up a bunch of money, and then split it amongst each other. When there are some people that literally can't get a Walmart Spark account, which by the way is just as messed up as renting out your account. Do you know how many people that are complaining about people having 3 phones, 3 DoorDash accounts, 3 Uber Eats accounts, 3 Grubhub accounts, and they're still hearing from their friends or family that they can't get on, but there are people like that all over the place? That's messed up. Blackburn, Braun, and Bud added that the lack of screening measures in place to prevent illegal immigrants from cashing in on those platforms has led to a black market economy riddled with abuse and danger for your users. They have measures in place. The problem is that the scammers are getting smarter. Like, they have the persona verification systems up. They have all of these systems in place, but in reality, it ends up not being enough. And the worst part is that some of the people that are using these accounts with language barriers and everything else are thinking it's perfectly fine because there are other people doing it. I remember getting a comment on a video on DoorDash and their verification system, and what they were saying was,
I don't know what to do. I'm renting my account, and for some reason I can't get past the verification process. Help!
Hey, look, I'm not gonna support people who are trying to game the system like that. You want to game the system? That's your choice. I don't support it. Don't ask me to support it by assisting you. These illegal immigrants are delivering food directly to consumer stores without ever having undergone a background check, and often without even using their real names, they wrote. And think about it like this. You're renting out an account to somebody who you don't even really know if they're clean. Like, imagine renting out your account every day, right? To somebody who you don't really know what their intentions are. You don't know if they would pass a background check or what have you. So what happens? Your account ends up deactivated and you lose out on 2 sources of income, the rental income and the DoorDash account itself. And be honest, if you ran a background check on these people and they had questionable intentions, would you hand your information to somebody? No. Heck, I know I wouldn't. As part of the inquiry, the 3 senators are demanding details of steps the companies are taking to bolster security, specifics about the consequences for users who sell access to their accounts, the number of users who have been suspended for selling access to their accounts, and whether the company had received reports of consumer issues with the situation. Okay, let me handle a lot of these. Bolster security, they have added identity verification with a persona facial recognition process. A lot of them have. Specific about the consequences, they usually just deactivate them, hands down, no questions asked. The number of users who have been suspended for selling access to their accounts, probably a lot more than they even know about. But I also know that there's a lot of people that wrongfully got deactivated for that reason too, because it seemed that way. And whether the company had received reports of consumer issues with the situation. There have been so many, whether it is through them specifically or just going viral on the subject on TikTok, it's insane. Account sharing is completely unacceptable on Grubhub and will result in immediate termination, a Grubhub spokesperson told the Post on Thursday. Delivery partners on our platform must pass an extensive background check and agree to the Grubhub delivery partner terms of use, which require maintaining the confidentiality and security of their account at all times. If we find anyone misrepresenting their identity or granting unauthorized access to an account, they'll be removed from the platform. Yeah, sounds about right. This also builds upon the point of you don't let phishing scammers get your account information either. Remember that support is never going to reach out to you specifically, so don't give them any sort of account information. If they send you a code, don't give them the code. If they ask for your password, don't give it to them. That is also another way to get deactivated. All couriers who deliver with Uber are required to hold a valid right to work in the US pass, pass a criminal background check, and be over the age of 18, an Uber rep said. All of these platforms are pretty much the same way in that regard. If a courier is found to be sharing their account or using a fraudulent account, we will remove their access to our platform, no exceptions. Yeah, pretty much. A DoorDash spokesperson similarly stressed that there is no place on the DoorDash platform for those that can't or won't verify their identity. To help ensure that Dashers are who they say they are and prevent access by individuals looking to abuse our platform, we've built a robust, multi-layered identity verification and safety screening process for anyone who wants to deliver through our platform. So multi-layered and so robust that it ended up wrongfully deactivating so many people, I swear to God. That said, however, they all kind of act in the same way. They all require the same background check system. They all require the same identity verification. Well, not Grubhub, but the same system overall applies. And I know Uber has their own identity verification system in the app. And they all would just deactivate you, hands down. It's not, oh, we gotta do a review on the subject. No, you're gone. Period. That's why a lot of drivers are frightened to get wrongfully deactivated for that reason. That's why a lot of people have been banned for simply growing out a beard. I'm not even kidding. Like, imagine being deactivated because you went from clean shaven to a beard, or a beard to clean shaven, or getting a tan, or growing your hair out. Revenue from the online food delivery sector is estimated to surpass $350 billion this year, according to Statista. Meanwhile, there have been 1,733,496 migrants encountered at the Mexican and Canadian borders between October 1st and March 31st, according to the data from Customs and Border Protection. Of that figure, more than 1.3 million have been stopped at the southern border. That is so many. That is so many migrants. And look, I am all for trying to pay your way through living in the United States of America, but that's scary to me. Over 1.7 million people who should not be here are being supported by a system of people who are gaming systems overall, and not to mention the Biden administration. Again, I don't want this to be a political issue, so I'm just going to leave that there. As a result of the Biden administration's open border policies, millions of illegal immigrants have flooded across our southern border since he took office, three senators wrote. Rather than detaining and deporting these individuals, President Biden has allowed them to remain in our communities and at times has even used taxpayer funds to fly them to their desired location. Okay, I guess we're not leaving it there. Blackburn, Braun, and Bud also praised the three companies, saying your services have improved the lives of so many Americans, but they underscored the need to inspire consumer confidence and crack down on this underground system of illegal work. Oh, and trust me, they are. The people who have like 3 phones and are like gaming the system in that way, they don't last on these platforms very long. Like, once they're reported, they're pretty much gone. This is my opinion. It's worth what you pay for it. Then you pay me. There you go. Fraud and scammers tend to be the reason that these companies lose money the most. Like, imagine if, for a second, these companies were not working with these migrant workers, right? And they were people who were using the system correctly. They weren't gaming it. They weren't scamming it one way or another. That's on the consumer side. That's on the driver's side, the restaurant side, the platform itself, etc. I'm not saying they would increase base pay, but I don't think it would have dropped as quickly as it did. I don't think they would be losing as much money because, quite frankly, they gotta spend all this money on scammy and fraudulent customers and gig workers as a whole. And you know what? Let's be realistic. There's always gonna be scammy, fraudulent people on both the driver and the customer side. But that seemed to be a big part of it. Renting out accounts is another big part of it, and that does need to stop. You get your account, that's it. That's the end of it. If you get let go, you get deactivated, that's the end of it all. Is it right? Should that be the case? No. Is that what would end up happening? Seems like it. If DoorDash, UberEats, and Grubhub can fix the migrant issue on a grander level, or not even just the migrant issue, people who are scamming and using the platform fraudulently in general, not even just migrants. Migrants are a problem, but overall, the scammers and the fraud committing people in general, I think the platform would be so much better. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.